Morning, lovely viewer. Well, this is something a little bit different today. This is Rose Wedding Piano, and what I've done is I've turned the exposure right down. I'm just going to film this rose today, and I've turned the exposure down because I want to try and get in as much detail of these flowers as I can. And unfortunately, once I turn the exposure down, I can't then reset it once I've started recording. But this is more like what I'm seeing to my eye. So this is more lifelike. But this is the most gorgeous flower, and I wanted to get it in as best as I can. This is a rose from Tantau, and I'm hoping that I can get some of this green in that you see just around here, because that makes this flower. It's a non-fragrant rose, sadly, and it's a rose that grows, I'm going to suggest, about 3 feet tall. Mine's only a few years old, but it's a rose that it does like to bud up. Tantau, they advertise it as rain tolerant. Now, I know that one or two of you bought this rose last year or this year, and the first year that I owned this rose, I didn't find it rain tolerant at all. Every single bud I had in that first year, it failed. It failed in wet weather. The buds, they just balled up and it failed. I was very disappointed. But then last year, I noticed that the rain tolerance, it started to kick in. That's gorgeous, and that is true to the eye. Yeah, that first year, after the first year, the rain tolerance, it started to happen, and this year I can assure you that all of these flowers here have seen the wet weather. Can you see that green? And these flowers, they last, I'm going to say 7 to 10 days at least. They're long lasting, and it certainly is a rain tolerant rose, I think. These flowers, they stay in bud form for a long time, like many of the German roses, and then they open, and there is a moment when the buds, they first start to open. There is a dangerous sort of point, if you like, I think, on any rose. But I think once the flowers have reached a point and they start to open, it's not a rain resistant rose like, say, Amadeus, but it's certainly rain tolerant. And I've got many rain tolerant roses in my garden, and this is definitely up there. It really is. So if you did buy this rose this year or last year, you know, please keep the faith, be patient, give it a couple of years, and hopefully you'll see. I can only talk about what I see in my garden, and my experience with this rose is it's been healthy for me. It's not fragrant, sadly, but the most gorgeous flowers. And that is, I'm looking at that with my naked eye, that is the colour that I'm seeing. If anything, the green is a little more pronounced. I don't know what the video is going to come out like, but a gorgeous flower. But I can't now readjust. Is it the exposure or the saturation? It's one of those two that I turned down, simply because I want to get these flowers in as best as I can. And on a bright sunny day with a white rose like this, you're simply not going to get the detail. So it deserves its own video, I think. But that is Rose Wedding Piano, and it's a rose. It is supported. There's a stake just here, and there's one at the back, but it's actually tied in lower down. So those flowers there that you see, I'm hoping you can see the poise of it. I think they're holding up very well. It done very well for me last year, the performance-wise. And this year, it really is turning into one of my favourite roses. Look at that. That is exactly what I'm seeing with my naked eye, and I'm hoping that you see that that same sort of detail there. Absolutely beautiful. Right, lovely viewer, I'll leave you with that. Rose Wedding Piano. I hope you have a lovely day.